Hello, good day guys. This is Operator 214 and we're again for another narration of some things like the Akyat Barko, which a lot of people have been talking about. So anyway, maritime life has always been full of mystery, myths and unwritten rules. One of the most controversial and often taboo topics whispered in ship corridors and crew mess halls is the phenomenon as Akyat Barko. But today, we're going to ask the question no one wants to say out loud. May mga babae bang umaakyat sa barko? Or if we translate this in English, are there really women who board the ship? And if yes, who are they? And why do they come aboard? And what does it mean for maritime professions in the Philippines? So let's start with a little context. The term Akyat Barko literally means boarding the ship in Filipino. But in seafarer slang, it refers to women, sometimes sex workers, sometimes girlfriends or wives, who get access to the ships while docked in port. Now, historically, ports have always been social hubs. For centuries, sailors coming back from long voyages would seek comfort, companionship, and of course, they would seek, of course, entertainment. And in many cases, that meant women finding their way aboard. Now, during the US military era in Subic and Olongapo, this became more systematic. Sorry for the term. Now, entertainment, girls, dancers, and even full-service clubs around the pier. As the merchant marine grew, so did this underground economy. Now, not all women who come aboard are involved in anything illegal. There are a few categories to understand. And one of these is that wives or partners some of them are legal spouses of officers and are allowed to join the ship for short voyages, usually with company clearance. And another reason is visitors at ports. Now, some girlfriends, family members, or acquaintances visit at ports for a short period while anchored. And aside from that, there are also people who board as entertainers. In some foreign or local ports, clubs may send women to ships unofficially to entertain crews, drinks, and party and dancing, etc. Whatever you might call it. And of course, the last but not the least, this is of course the most infamously known. Women also board the ship because they are actually sex workers. This is where the term Akyat Barko gets in stigma. Sex work happens discreetly, sometimes arranged through a third party, and yes, some women are literally smuggled aboard. Now, here's where things get complicated. Now, under MARPOL and most international safety regulations, unauthorized boarding is strictly prohibited. Bringing in someone aboard without the captain or the company's consent is a violation. Period. But in practice, it still happens in developing ports like Philippines, Vietnam, and even other parts of Africa. Local customs, corrupt port officials, or bribes allow it to continue, even on Indonesia. Now, aside from safety violations, there are also the issue of sexual exploitation and trafficking. In some horror stories, women are forced into ships. In others, they do it for survival, just to get around for the day. Of course, in exchange for money, protection, or gifts. And yet, many seafarers also argue if women consent and both parties agree, what's the harm, right? Yeah, but that's not that simple. Now, let's talk about the consequences of it. First and foremost, security risk. Now, unknown persons aboard pose serious security issues, especially in post 9/11 maritime law enforcement. And aside from that, there's also the thing we call career damage. Officers who allow or ignore unauthorized boardings can be suspended or blacklisted. And of course, exploitation of women. Many who go aboard are vulnerable. Some are underage, trafficked, or indebted to pimps. And of course, there's also the thing that what we call family destruction. Countless Filipino OFW seafarers have come to home broken families, pregnancies, or STDs due to onboard affairs. So, for short, a short moment of pleasure can cost a seafarer his job, his health, and his family. Now, the question is it really worth it? So let's go deeper. Why does this culture still exist? Well, there's one word: loneliness. Of course, everybody knew life at sea is tough. Isolation, depression, and long months away from the home push many to seek intimacy, even if it is just temporarily. And that's it. But instead of mocking those who fall into this trap, we must understand that the system that fails them: lack of mental health support, zero counseling, no structured recreation on board, no human connections. Now, until those are addressed, women boarding ships, whether for good or bad will always happen. Now, here's the conclusion. So, to answer the question, yes, there are women who board the ship, but the answer opens up to more questions. What kind of system allow this to happen? Why do we turn a blind eye? And what can we do to protect both seafarers and the women from harm? Now, if you're a young cadet or OFW, remember this: discipline and dignity are worth more than a night of distraction. And if you're seeing this happen, don't stay silent. The sea doesn't forgive carelessness. So yeah, that's all I have to say on this commentary. So thanks for tuning in. If you liked this video, please hit that button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is Operator 214 bringing in you some maritime truths that you might want to think of, and of course without sugar coating. So thanks again, everyone. I'll see you around on my next vlog. Say bye bye for now. Bye bye, guys.